So today we are filming this absolutely insane 900 plus horsepower RS6. This is hypercar power in a family estate. What more could you possibly want? Let's get stuck into it. Okay, so we're here with Carl in his C6 Rs6, which is, as you've seen, an absolute monster. Thanks for sharing this with us, Carl.
No, you're very welcome, mate.
Kind of the reason for doing this was, obviously I've been wanting to do a video on this for ages, but you're also thinking about selling the car.
Yep.
So this is the perfect opportunity to make sure we get a video before you get rid of it and buy something else.
Of course, and hopefully promote it.
And also just to talk about some of the absolute mental stuff that you've done with this, really on a budget, because this is hypercar power on just a decent performance car, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's for bang for buck. It's quite reasonable. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's
of course
cheaper
it's
than
cheap,
most.
but for horsepower achieved versus cost spent is
Yes.
obviously a massive
Yes,
thing in its favour. So before we get into what's done with this car, we looked online today to see what was available for 1,000-ish horsepower, and what did you find?
The only things that were 900 horsepower in similar regions to this was 2010 GTR that had a JM 900, and they was 59 grand and 62 grand. So
And how much are you going to be selling this for?
I'd like 35 for it on a good day, but you know, there's always a deal to be had, isn't there?
Yeah.
So I'd say at 35,
So like nearly half the price.
Yeah. Just yeah.
And this is, for argument's sake, a family car. It's a 5-seater. You can get 5 adults in it. You can put 3 or 4 suitcases in the boot.
Exactly, yeah, got big boot, big luggage space.
You could do continental trip, no problem. Everyone will be comfy.
Yeah, very practical, very usable. For its vintage, it's quite luxurious. I mean,
It's
again,
now 13 years old.
Yeah, it's coming up to 13 years old. Yeah, and but even if you compare the inside, because this was a prestigious top end car, when it was
who owned it before you?
Believe it or not, it was an airline pilot.
So this was his daily. He literally.
It was his daily. He dailied it. He
threw a
abused
case in it.
Yeah,
then drove to the airport, parked it in probably airport
left
parking.
it. Yeah, he looked like when I bought it. It looked like he'd been washed with scratch and swirl brush. It literally was a daily
Just
car.
An honest car.
Honest car. Yeah, it was a very, very honest car. And believe it or not, he upgraded to a C7. So.
And it was completely standard.
Completely bone standard.
I think the question that everyone wants to know is, what have you done to this?
Right. So obviously, I bought the car bone standard. Bit of background, I used to have a really fast B5 RS4 and it was getting old and I wanted something a bit more powerful.
With some modern touches.
Yeah, with some modern touches. So this seemed like the natural progression.
Yeah, because an RS4 Avant, so it's an estate again.
Yeah.
But this is a little bit bigger and a little bit more reliable.
Yes.
Newer touches. You like a spec as well, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a spec whore. I like all the bells and whistles. And obviously, just a bit more modern, wasn't it? Coming, a few years more.
Did you plan to make this a monster?
No, it's a funny story. When I bought it, obviously the 580 PS stock, I thought it would have been ample, but the first time I drove it, I actually thought it was broken because they're so linear, they run so little boost pressure. Even to
it's smooth, it's a 5 litre.
Yeah, even to make that 580 PS, they're very, very under stress. So obviously I got in this from a really aggressive B5. And it
Which
underwhelmed.
was pretty Asbo,
it was very Asbo, and this underwhelmed me. So obviously,
and then you start searching the internet.
Yeah, the slippery. I'd got up one morning and I was on that slippery slope. So basically, mods. It's very, very little mods for power. So it's got hybrid turbos,
which is 2 because obviously it's a V.
Yeah, 2 turbos from TTE. And they're old, they're TT850s, which when I first bought this car, that's all you could get. Now you can get TT1000s, but that's enough for that. So yeah, it's got TT850s, pair of panel filters, downpipes.
Intercooler upgrade?
So yeah, it's got mastered intercoolers, it's got bigger fuel injectors and water meth, and that's basically it. Oh, it has got an upgraded gearbox, but I did that.
Well, that's because you need to put the power down. Because let's be honest, if you made 900 circa horsepower in a standard box, how long would that last?
It wouldn't. I believe these boxes are on the limit. I mean, don't quote me because there were loads of internet experts out there.
Standard.
But about 850 horsepower and about 1,000, just over 1,100 newton meters in the box won't last long at all.
And how many launches do you reckon you'd achieve with that?
Zero. Zero. I reckon.
Well, we've already proven this launches.
Yeah, this does. I mean, to say it's an old slush box, it does get off the line.
Yeah, because this is technically really old technology.
Really old. I mean, this is a ZF6. I mean, this is old technology, but for old technology, it works really well. And again, the gearbox was upgraded, and you can literally give it all the stick you want.
And I mean, not naming any names, but certain YouTubers who've had RS6s, Z7s have broken their gearbox.
Yeah, the drivetrain is slightly weaker on the C7.
How much was just the gearbox upgrade?
The gearbox upgrade,
without fitting,
just the gearbox was 4,000 quid.
So, anyone who's thinking about buying one of these and modding it, there's not that many mods that need doing, but every single mod is expensive because obviously 2 turbos is not cheap.
No, I think back in the day when I bought them, I mean, they was about $4,000.
Yeah, and obviously turbos. 10 injectors.
Yeah,
an
10
injector could be a couple of $100 each.
200 quid an injector.
So that's $2,000.
Yeah.
Posh spark plugs, you're going to want.
Yeah. The Aqua Mist, obviously I've gone for the HFS4 Aqua Mist to keep things nice and cool because these suffer really bad with heat soak. And that was $1,000.
Yeah. And of course you've got the ceramic coated.
Yeah, ceramic coated intakes again. Just to battle heat. It's such a big engine in a small engine bay. Anything again, the Meth is to combat heat. The ceramic.
Same with the coolers.
Yeah,
and the downpipes. Yeah. How big are the downpipes?
They're 3.5 inch at the turbo, which is turbo outlet,
side, yeah,
and then they drop down to 3 inch. And then the exhaust is 3 inch literally from the downpipes to the tailpipes. It's a custom made CM tuning exhaust.
Yeah, because you did have a Miltech on board.
It had a Miltech. I mean, obviously, again, it was bone stock exhaust. And of course, the first thing you do, you put a Miltech on it.
You want a bit of noise, didn't you?
Yeah, but it didn't give the noise I wanted. Plus, also, it's the turbos are 3.5 inch down to 3 inch, and the Miltech stepped it down to 2.75. Yeah. So I was thinking all these bottlenecks.
All these restrictions.
Yeah. So
that, obviously, once it's cooler, it doesn't matter as much, but. Obviously, the quicker you can get it out, the better it sounds a bit better.
Heat management, you know, I was looking into it, better flowing, obviously gets the heat out at the back end quicker, so it's literally full 3 inch, to basically from the step down off the turbo to tip, 3 inch.
And when you're doing the build on this, it's an engine out, isn't it?
Everything, literally everything's engine out. You know what I mean? If you want to, do the oil leaks, they suffer with its engine out.
Yeah, because so anyone that wants to buy it or looking at buying a C6 Rs6, these suffer with a couple of things, don't they?
Yes, the Achilles heel of these cars is there's an oil leak. It's really common. It's from the oil pump drive seal. The seal is like £1, but it's $3,000 to do the job if you take the engine out. Now, a couple of garages can get around it, but it's still
going to be a big bill,
still a £2,000 job, yeah.
So if you're looking to buy one of these, regardless of whether you're modding it or not, that's on your list of things to have already been done.
Yeah.
There was a pipe as well,
coolant pipes, yeah. There's 2 corroded coolant pipes that they suffer with. Again, that's to do them correctly. That's engine out. Again, over the years, I think people have adapted tools and work in progress to do it without removing the engine. But again, it's still going to be £1,000. So to do them 2 jobs, you're looking at minimum of $3,000 before. And
obviously, if you're going to do turbos, the engine's got to come out anyway,
exactly,
isn't it? So,
yes.
And what's the book time on engine in and out?
20 hours. Yeah. That's without even. That is just literally remove and refit. Plus,
without alterations, having it to one side for a while.
Without splitting the gearbox, without removing the turbos, R&I, remove and install is 20 hours.
So the build, if you were to, so I think this is really interesting because this is, say, a circa £20,000 car now for a nice RS6-ish lowish mileage.
20 to 25 grand to buy a really good, nice example.
So for an extra 10 to 15 grand, you're almost doubling the horsepower.
Yes.
All these extra things which we've already proven with the gearbox, the turbos, the Meth and everything is going to cost more than the 15 extra grand.
Yeah, well, it'll well surpass that.
Without even the labour costs.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Which is why this is such an amazing car, and for the money, horsepower, there's nothing like it. I dare anyone to find anything for this price, £35,000-ish, anywhere near 900 horsepower that you can throw your family in.
Yes,
do 1,000 miles.
I'd say. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is cars out there,
Of course there is, but
nothing that ticks all the boxes. Like I say, there's nothing as practical. Even a GTR, I get fast GTR, they're impractical.
You can't put a family in the
Yeah,
back,
there's no luxury. They're very plastic inside. Don't get me wrong, that's the Jap thing. But then if you go to the ES Porsches, they're absolute luxury.
Yeah.
But you're talking 200 grand to get a Porsche to this spec, including the purchase
What was
price
it you
of the
said?
car.
We was chatting, weren't you? And you said that they do a drive-in option where they would.
And that's JM Imports. So I had a quick look at GTRs, and as you said, so.
Because everything, if people think big power, they automatically think GTR, don't they?
Yes, of course they do, because it's the benchmark, isn't it? It's the yardstick for big power, fast cars. So if you got an early GTR, 30 grand.
Yeah, on eBay now, if you find any GTR, they'll be about 30.
Yes, 30.
For the cheapest option.
JM Imports, fantastic place. They do a drive in and drive out. I think it's 1,000 brake horsepower for 30 grand. So
you're 60 grand in.
60 grand. Don't get me wrong, you're going to get a 1,000 brake GTR.
Of course.
But you're a minimum of 60 grand.
Pub rights, isn't it?
But then you've not touched your brakes, you've not touched your suspension.
That was literally my next question. Is now you've got it going 900 and something horsepower.
Yes.
How are you stopping it?
Well, it was on stop brakes. It was a steel brake car.
Which is what, 8-pot?
Yes, 8-pot Brembos, single pots in the back, but they're very, very big discs. I think they're 380.
But you upgraded the fronts, didn't you?
Yes, so of course, when it was, I mean, I didn't go straight to stage 2 with the turbos. I did a stage 2 first, and basically the brakes were useless. So I did a bit of searching round.
Well, yeah, because this is 2 ton, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
so
it's
you're
just
stopping
over
2
2
ton
ton.
at 150 mile an hour.
Yeah, plus, yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought an AP upgrade kit, which was 410. So it was a bigger brake disc.
Yeah, floating disc.
Floating disc on a bell and a caliper spacer, and I bought some Parrott pads. Now, first impressions, they were brilliant. Don't get me wrong, it was absolutely fantastic. I had an AP racing kit, but my driving style, I just don't think
is aggressive.
I don't think. Yeah, we'll put it as that. Probably to 90% of the other people, the AP upgrade was fantastic, and I do rate it. But it just, for some reason, I could get the discs blue, I could get them stinking, and I think that's just my driving style of a big, fast, heavy car. So the natural thing was ceramics, and then that's where the world of
because I mean, not to mention all the tuning expense, how much is a set of ceramic discs, calipers, pads?
If you went to Audi, the discs are 5 grand each. The pads are
per disc.
Yeah, 5 grand a disc. I think the pads are 400, 500 quid. Then your calipers are £1,200 a caliper.
You're sort of talking 12 to 14
Oh,
grand
easily.
new.
That's just for the front.
What's second hand for like a good set?
5 grand. You know.
And then you got newish
I
discs.
got newish discs.
Which technically have a longevity of, will say forever.
Well,
for argument's sake.
No external damage. They're meant to last forever.
Yeah.
You know,
so
forever. The last time.
It's sort of a buy once and
yes.
pray.
So I managed to search for a good couple of years. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I remember you looking. And
looking, and I sourced the calipers and I sent them away to be refurbished and new pistons. And I sourced the discs individually and then just bought the pads from TPS. And yeah, they owe me about 4 to 5 grand, but never had a problem since, and it's spoiled.
And I was going to say, and it stops.
It stops. It's, you know, the minute they get a bit of heat in them, wow.
You got the confidence in
them.
Yeah,
you got, you know, you're not worried about you're not going to have any accidents, and it's a no brake dust as well. As funny as it is, that does it for me. Yeah.
Especially being not a car cleaner.
Yeah, which I don't.
A driver,
do
not a cleaner.
I'm a driver and a driver and a tinkerer, not a cleaner.
Awesome. Well, I think we've heard all we need to hear. Maybe we should get out on the road.
Yeah, let's go for it, mate. Yeah.
So you wouldn't know this is really anything other than a standard car for normal driving.
Do you know what? When you drive it as Audi intended, you know, a family car, yes, all right, it's a powerful one. I mean, bar the boomy exhaust, it actually still drives as stock as I bought it. It's actually great. It's one of them Jekyll and Hyde cars. You know, you can drive it. I mean, that's it. I mean, obviously, you know, I've got the kids and the little dog. They sit in the car. The missus drives. The missus doesn't mind driving this because you can daily drive it. Honestly, it's quite juicy. It's not as offensive as you'd think. But
I was about to say, how many gallons a mile?
Well, it depends. If you're full, I mean, I did a top speed event the other week. I did a straight liners event at Elverton Airfield, and it was never above 6 mpg. So when you're pressing on, it is quite juicy. But you know, honestly, if I drive from Nottingham on the motorway, go to Cafe in the Machine or something, it does do 29.
That's better than my S4.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the tune's pretty good on these big injectors. It's not bad. So like I say, around town, if you're pottering around to and fro in shopping, which I have used it for, you are getting 11s.
Which is
11s to early teens, which is to be expected. But if you could cope with that, I mean, I'm happy with that. It's one of the things you accept with a big engine car.
Exactly,
but you can daily it, and it's so docile when you're not pressing the loud pedal. Like I say, apart from the exhaust. I mean, now look, I've just closed the throttle.
Yeah,
it's gone silent.
What was your top speed on the top speed run?
It was a standing start mile event, so obviously it's not how fast the car can go on an infinite amount of road.
Yeah, of course.
So
you start from
zero. You start from a zero at a finite point on the runway. There was a half mile and a 1 mile trap, and then obviously you slow down after that. I was a bit naughty. I kept my foot in past the mile, and I was showing 208 on the speedo, and it was just dropping into 6th gear. So it gives you an idea of how fast they are.
That's mental.
That was pulling. It changed up from 205, 206-ish, top end of 5th, and then it was just changing up
How
into
many gears
6.
has it got?
16.
So top gear, yeah.
Yeah, so it was into top gear just as I was easing off. So I mean, they're good for 240 mile an hour, I reckon.
I mean, this is lovely as a cruiser. This is.
Oh yeah, I mean, what
quiet,
suspension? What? I mean, we're in dynamic. We're in the middle setting.
Yeah,
so I mean,
nice.
to be
Is it
fair,
DRC?
it's DRC and mag ride.
Okay. So it's got Audi.
Yes,
Specialist
Audi suspension is all stock, and I tell you what, I'd never take it off. Once you drive one on coilovers, they're horrendous. But this is in dynamic, which is really nice. If you're going to sport, it goes really hard. It's not nice. And again, if you're going to comfort, it's a bit too soft.
Yeah.
It's
bit
not,
wallowy,
yeah,
bit boaty, yeah.
bit wallowy, a bit boaty, and yeah, it's not ideal. We'll take a run down here.
And then you got the flip side, which is when you want to drive it a bit like a
yes, obviously.
Friday night, Saturday night.
Yeah, obviously, if you go out, if you're inclined to go out for a bit of a rip, a bit of fun with your mates, flick it into sport, turn the ESP off.
But I mean, it is still a 2-ton estate car, isn't it?
Yeah, it's never going to be
a hot hatch.
It's never going to be an i30N. Yeah, let's put it that way. But I mean, if we turn the SP off now and we put it into sport, we'll just get a bit of a reaction up here. So we're on a bit of a B-road. So yeah,
it just pulls the same amount of force the whole way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You feel the wheels spinning?
Yeah, I feel the wheels do spin. Jeez. I mean, I'm running PS4s and it still spins the wheels.
That is insane.
Yeah, so again, but to be fair, on a
heavy car, that literally lifts up and just takes off.
So the B-road blast, I still say it's fun for the fact that you don't know if it's going to kill.
That's quite a nice crowd pleaser as well, isn't it?
Oh, everyone loves the pops and bangs, yeah.
What's some of the pub figures then?
As in like,
what have you got? 0 to 60s, 100s to 200s,
yeah,
that
so
kind of stuff?
I would like to do a Santa Pod event on a prep surface because again, finding a nice road such as we're on now, to do a draggy,
legal speed
to do legal
testing,
speeds. But I have been to Mexico and done 100 to 200, and as far as times, I believe you'll have to
pop it up
on the screen. But I think I'm early 3s, 0 to 60, standing start again for a car that hasn't got
2-ton,
and it's got a slush box with no launch. So yeah, it's low 3s, 0 to 60, standing start mile 10.7, and 100 to 200, which is the yardstick for big old fast cars now. The yardstick for that is 5 seconds is a quick car. I'm doing 5.5.
5.5, 100 to 200
100 to 200, well, it's K into it, 60 to 130.
That's quick.
But to be honest with you, Dom, even on them runs, I'm encountering wheel spin, even though I'm on Parrott.
I mean, every time we've had a go, it's got some slip.
It does.
But then any car with trying to put down.
Yes, over 1100 newton meters of torque.
1100 newton meters.
Over, I think that's 1150 of something.
Yeah.
We'll have to flash the
graph
up. But yes, and that's quite conservative as well.
Because that's what is it? Is horsepower is how fast you
hit the wall, and
torque is
how far you take it. Yeah, so they say.
So you're going to take the wall
very far.
Very far, yeah.
With a big, and a big weight. Like
1100 plus newton meters. That is insane. insane.
Pull off fast. Look. Spinning, spinning, spinning.
Jesus, yeah.
Still spinning. Look.
You can hear it. You can just hear it
spinning,
fighting for it.
Well, I'm not going to say, but top of third,
Yeah.
it was still spinning. So
And it just sounds lovely. That exhaust, the note and the pop
yeah.
is wicked. Oh, little tunnel. That is crazy. It's really loud outside, isn't it?
Yeah, very loud. It's so well sounded in these cars.
Fuck.
Spinning, look.
Yeah. And that's with traction on?
That's with traction on.
Okay. Yeah, that literally was spinning.
Yeah.
Like,
It's unbelievable. It lights the front
you just
wheels.
spin on the spot. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
If someone bought this, would they need to do anything, or could they just enjoy it?
No, go straight on. No, this is ready to go. Honestly,
And it
it's
wouldn't need much upkeep other than good servicing.
just good. You know, it's like any modified car. Good servicing. You know, keep on top of the maintenance. I always run Miller's oil in it, genuine
yeah,
filters. Go straight
Oh,
over.
sure.
Yeah, go NGK spark plugs.
But
you know.
just a good service
Yeah,
routine.
good. Keep on top of it, and it'll look after you. I mean, it's one of them. It's a tune car at the end of the day. Yeah, got to bury it.
Wow, that is just. And it just drives like a normal car. It's just,
Yeah, when you're in drive and
Yeah, it's just.
changes gears night, doesn't it?
It's like one of those people that wear 3 different caps.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it
You
does.
can work
Yeah.
at 3 different places, like, right, I'm going out, racing it on, taking the family out,
Yeah.
chauffeur it on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, who could not want this? You got the GTR power.
Exactly, and it isn't slow, is it?
Nah. I mean, every time you press the go pedal, it's
Yeah.
yeah. It puts a smile on your face.
I mean, we are in the octane boost map at the minute. Obviously, you probably.
Which is figure. So it's
Yeah.
925.
Yeah, it makes 925 PS on the octane boost map. If you just run normal 99.
Yeah, pump fuel. Yeah.
Pump fuel. It's 897.
It's still 900 horsepower.
Well, yeah, no.
And why wouldn't you run an octane booster? Because you've got these posh injectors. And
Exactly.
whatever.
It'd be rude not to. I mean,
And what are they? Tenner a bottle.
It's 15 quid a bottle.
And this takes like what, 70 litres?
Yeah, so I put one bottle per tank. You get 300 miles. But
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
miles per gallon, isn't
And
it?
at the end of the day, you want longevity.
Of course
so
I do. Yeah.
the higher the octane, the better
Yes, exactly.
the better the drive.
Exactly.
Well, mate, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Mate,
Respect for showing me.
you're very welcome. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you've had a drive.
And wait for all the people trying to buy it off you.
Well, it would be nice, you know. Give us a shout if you're interested in buying it.
Or if you want any performance work
yeah,
done.
performance work. Give me a shout. Any modifications, any advice, just give us a shout.
And what do you work on?
I work on, predominantly Audis, performance Audis is my background. But
BMWs, Mercedes?
Yeah, I do BMW. Obviously, my work is predominantly Audi because I've got a lot of special
Or
tools.
VAG.
But VAG, well, yeah, say VAG. But yeah,
Your Golf
BMWs,
Rs.
Audis, you name it. You know, it's all nuts and bolts at the end of the day.
And his labour rate, because I get some of my work done on my S4, is a lot less than garages.
Yeah, that's
Let me tell you.
Yeah, perks of being self-employed. I can look after folk. Yeah,
But yeah, until the next one, guys.
mate,